So, Assalamu alaikum, Atif. How are you? Tell us who you are, what you do, and where you're from.
My name's Atif. I'm a GP from the West Midlands.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah, GP. There are quite a lot of GPs in the group, don't we? It's almost like you think you're in the NHS, we have like 15 pharmacists, about 9 GPs, and a few medics. So,
I think it's part of the demographic that a majority of the South Asian dads probably come from those sort of backgrounds. So you've got to bank on there being someone from the sort of healthcare profession on there, quite a few people.
So, Atif, tell me, what made you join Fit Dad Life Mastery? What was the problem that you were trying to solve?
It's an interesting question. At the time when I was joining, or at the time I came across your Facebook post, I hadn't identified that there was a problem. So that's the interesting that I got into that sort of very common, comfortable state of just going with the flow and sort of being comfortable with being a little bit overweight and trying to just suck the belly in and get slightly bigger clothes. So you get to that happy state of I'm all right, things seem fine, and then something must have clicked because when I read the first post on Facebook about what this program was, I think there was quite a few trigger factors that had probably been suppressed deep down. That actually, if you stood in the mirror, literally, and asked yourself these type of questions, away from everyone else, and really honed into yourself and went through a critical, self-reflective stage, yeah, of course you're deeply unhappy with the way they look, the way you become. And previously, I'd actually lost quite a bit of weight, and I went down to a significantly smaller clothes size. And I remember back then the confidence it gave me. I had a whole new wardrobe which I had to get rid of, and suddenly it brought back all these memories. Like I used to be, look healthier, used to look smarter. Actually, now you have let yourself go. You have developed into very bad habits again. Let's look into this. So it resonated with a lot of what I was probably having in my subconscious that was now suddenly brought to the surface. That, hang on, you've been troubled by this for quite some time. You may not have discussed it with anyone, but let's be real, you're bothered by this, and that's why you're reading this post.
Interesting. So how did you first come across me, or where did you come across me?
It was just a random Facebook appearance, Adam Khan Fitness, and then just talking about, are you in these sort of categories? Are you South Asian? Are you overweight? Have you developed bad habits? And you're sort of saying yes to every one of those things. Here's a program that can really change your life, but not only the life of yourself, but those who you influence around you, your loved ones. And when you suddenly thought about all those lines, this isn't just about me. This permeates across not just the family, but entire community. And you can advocate that if you're in the healthcare profession, or if you're in any sort of capacity of influence, in any form of leadership, the very basic being a family figure, you're a leader within that household. You've got big responsibilities and people are looking up to you. And if you're not going to have the dignity of looking after yourself, how does that reflect on people that you claim to be looking after? So I think that's probably what the most powerful message was for me.
Absolutely. I think we say you need to put your own oxygen mask on first, and you can't be 100% for the people around you and those that depend on you when you're not 100% yourself. So only when you can, be 100% and feel 100% yourself, can you give 100% of yourself to somebody else. So
I think you hit the nail on the head in the sense that the biggest difference I found between, I think, what I read, what engaged me the most was this internal reflection. There's so many programs which you'll see a guy with like 12 pack or whatever, and glistening and saying you want to look like me, follow my 3-month program and you'll be ripped to shreds and blah blah blah. There's so many things that just concentrate on the aesthetic. Obviously, the thing that resonated with me is the various elements of the genetics, the faith element. This is a very, I guess, niche product for a lot of people in a very, very similar boat, where you're tying in all the elements and bringing it actually back down to spirituality, which is incredibly important for all of us. And when you're tying that in, it suddenly becomes a lot deeper than just a superficial physical body change.
So were there any doubts or concerns that you had when you first came across it?
There's always the interest, there's always the hook, and then you obviously need to know, what's this going to cost, and what will this journey look like? What do I need to embark on? And obviously the initial questions are, well, What is the program? Is it just another dietary advice plan with, eat less, work out more? Here's the exercise program. Or, how complex is it going to be? How long is it going to go on for? And I think one of the earliest messages, I don't, it's very sort of strict filtering criteria. And I think the instructions at the beginning were, once you've read this post, go to the website. Do not do anything else until you've read the entire thing and watched the video. So it's very explicit, very directional. Now I can totally understand why that's there. And it was clear, fairly apparent at the beginning when it said, this will be a substantial financial commitment. So I was aware that whatever this is, it's not a cheap product, but you need to understand the value of what that product was. So I'm glad that in a way, all of that was sort of laid out at the beginning to then start the sort of conversation process to let's probe a bit deeper. Let's get on to the first introductory exploration course. So that was very, very helpful.
So tell us about the experience you've had then. What did you learn? What have you achieved?
It's actually been a very refreshing experience. It was really good to actually get onto a group of dads in a very, very similar situation. Everyone's got the same story. Everyone's reached the levels of being overweight through whatever traumas or bad habit or lifestyle issues that everyone's had. And I guess it's good to be part of a collective group and a very, very encouraging, good humoured group. So not only have you got the app where you part of your commitment is to log absolutely every single thing that you're doing, otherwise they can't help you. But yeah, there's been days where I've hardly been doing any steps or eating all sorts of awful junk. And you get a very polite text message randomly, hey, how are you? Questions. But the fact that you also contribute with various voice notes gives that dynamism that things change week to week. Things can just pop into your mind, or lots of people may be just asking about a particular topic and you'll just jump on as a listen. Loads of you have been asking about this. I'm going to tell you about it right now. And the other very refreshing thing is the whole process of unlearning. Now, I've looked at various programs. I've watched loads of YouTube videos on various workout regimes. How many times should you be doing full body workouts per week? How should you do the weights progression? Is HIIT really good for you? Walking versus running. When you're in that mind of being overweight, it's so easy to be the research master, and you can give loads of lectures to everyone, and there you are overweight from your couch, telling people what the best workout regime is. It's refreshing to unlearn everything. And I remember I asked my coach, look, out of these different workouts that I'm doing from these YouTube videos, which one would you suggest? How often? And in a humorous way, he'd say, do what you want. It's like, no, what do you mean? Do what you want. Do whatever one you like. And to suddenly get responses like that, you learn later on why that's the case. Yeah. But actually, when you realize that 5% of formal activity compared to 25% of your non-formal exercise in a total day, suddenly your whole mindset changes that, whoa, I can actually use my time and energy much more efficiently, doing something that's actually going to benefit me and help me lose weight, rather than procrastinating and working out, oh my God, I can't do this workout today. That's hardly going to be any benefit that day. Yeah. So the whole unlearning and relearning process, which is incredibly useful and sustainable. The messages that you give are very, very positive and very encouraging. Yeah. So constantly, one of the biggest challenges is having these off days, or I've not done very well today, and it's the constant reinforcement that actually this is a journey and a process, and it'll keep fluctuating. And once you understand how to manage those fluctuations, it's living every day in reality. We're not Hollywood superstars where you get a protocol given to you for 6 months for a film shoot. This is real life. Yeah. Amidst tragedies, amongst work changes, financial difficulties, is teach me how to fish so I can sort myself out later on. And I think that's probably the most crucial thing about this program compared to anything else that I've come across.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very different, isn't it? It's very different than what people might expect. Because I recall you had a few epiphany moments. It was like, that was so eye-opening, and a penny just dropped. I remember seeing a few of those in the group, and And I was very pleasantly surprised because you're obviously a medical doctor. You know, you've got background in this kind of stuff, health and all the rest of it.
As medics, you might be surprised to hear we don't get trained in nutrition or basic activity levels or exercise, and it's sad. We really, in my opinion, we don't get trained sufficiently in disease prevention.
Yeah.
We get trained in pharmaceuticals, in drug interactions, and how to treat problems once they've arisen. But in the whole crucial aspect of actually living healthily, we don't get enough formal training on. Now I feel that I can impart whatever I've learned in whatever time I have to some of my patients who are overweight. But even then, I'm thinking all the stuff that I've learned, I wish I had the time and the expertise to sit down and tell you all of these things, which aren't rocket science, but they're so crucial to learn. And I wish they taught this in schools and colleges. It should be part of everyday just learning. But so yeah, as a physician, you don't get taught how to sort of try and patch problems once they've occurred. I just wish that we all knew this at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Salman from London, he shared a similar sentiment. He was saying the same things like, wow, like, I wish we knew this stuff and we could impart this kind of knowledge and guidance to our patients. And alhamdulillah, he's doing some of that now. And that is one of our wider goals. Like, our goal is to try and help 1,000 Desi dads, but by extension, the community and everybody else. And one of the ways we try and achieve doing that is through our clients, through people who've been through our program. Now they can impart that knowledge and experience and expertise to the people that they see and the clients that they see. And quite a few of our clients who are pharmacists have done that. They've gone into back to their pharmacies and helped loads of people lose weight from what they've learned on Fit Dad Life Mastery, in contrast to how they were approaching it before, which was the typical, very rigid or very loose guidelines that weren't very effective. So tell me about your transformation. What have you achieved, and how is your life different now?
I think some of the main principles from the program, there's definitely a lot more consciousness when it comes to eating, actually savoring the treats. And I won't say that they're bad. These are treats, indulgences, really enjoying them for what they are, knowing where to compensate for them. And I've never loved walking and moving more than ever before. And suddenly, going for that 1 mile walk or a little bit more, which may have been, I've just got to do this because it's good to walk, isn't it? Has now become part of your sort of religious daily routine. That somehow I need to continue my movement because I know it's got benefits in other areas, and I know I can enjoy my meal tonight. And suddenly getting rid of those restrictions that you need to go outdoors to walk. My kitchen island is superb. And 10,000 steps within the home is easily achievable.
Yeah.
So it's just this whole mindset thing that suddenly it just unlocks within you mechanisms to achieve what you're trying to get to. And it's entirely up to you to speed it up or slow it down, and to enjoy those indulgences and make up for them. And how to, if you do lose the plot a little bit or start gaining a little bit of weight, you then gain the control back and you know exactly what to do because you just go back to first principles. Even portion control, it's just so refreshing to know that you can enjoy foods from all over the world. You can enjoy whatever you want to do, but now you're responsible and you have some control. It's not your hand or your mouth that's in control, it's you.
Even with the activities that we suggest, these are things that you can do with your family, your children, your wife, whoever else is in your life. Even your parents. Like, I sometimes go for walks with my mum and try and encourage her to be active. Now, it doesn't require you taking time out specifically from your day to do something that isolates you from the rest of the family. So if you're extremely busy and you don't have the time to go spend an hour and a half in the gym every day or every other day, you don't need to, because that's like the gym workout would have been you exclusively doing it on your own. But now you can be active as a family together. What you didn't tell us, the most crucial things: how much weight did you lose? How many centimeters did you lose?
During a 12-week program, I've lost almost 6 kilograms. So bearing in mind for what's considered to be healthy, sustainable weight loss is usually about half a kilogram per week. I think that's been pretty good for me. I've also increased my workouts, and I'm doing sort of full body dumbbell workouts as suggested by my coach, which I'm really enjoying. And I'll be honest, I never used to enjoy working out. I used to work out. It's a bit of a punishment, really, and now I'm actually looking forward to that workout because I understand the principles behind why I'm doing that workout and how to step up the progression with understanding of what benefits it's going to give me. I'm no longer shackled by it's got to be this many reps by this weight, and I understand each of those movements and the benefits of those things. And suddenly you're having that discussion within yourself that this is purely for your benefit, and you know what the benefits are going to be. You're absolutely right about involving other members of the family. That before it used to be, I need to take out this amount of time to go and do my workout, which in fact isn't going to be as much benefit as talking to you or going for a walk. I may have already gone for a walk. If my wife or member of the family want to go for a walk again, brilliant, that's a bonus, let's go for another one. And you're just getting rid of all of these shackles. And it just gives you a lot of freedom. And what's movement? As you said, doing squats whilst waiting for the microwave to ping. It just gives you a lot more freedom and flexibility. And gone are the days where you're having to sort of starve yourself for the entire day because you've got a family celebration in the evening. It's just a lot more relaxed, this approach. And so, so the weight loss was one thing. Doing workouts, which I'm now enjoying from a personal confidence point of view. My clothes are looking a lot better, and that in itself, it's a huge confidence boost. And I know then it can only improve upon that. So alhamdulillah, I'm just very, very grateful. It's given me multiple benefits. My family members are seeing the changes now, and it's true. You get to the stage where you can become overweight and quite happy and happy and fat. But actually, secretly, what impact does that have on your kids? It's like, dad's a bit overweight and he eats too many desserts and blah, blah, blah. And when you see your kids who are quite conscious about what they're eating and they want to look slim or whatever, suddenly you become a lot more self-conscious of that fact. And it's like, actually, you know what? I want to be the dad that they look up to, saying, we're proud of how our dad looks. And mashallah, if I can ever in my lifetime get to your stage, I mean, that would be...
We can.
Wow.
I'm going to talk about... So in terms of... centimeters, because I know the weight loss seems quite modest, but looking at your pictures, it seems wow. And then the centimeters, in terms, I think you lost quite a lot of centimeters.
So that's the interesting thing. On the pictures, I'm looking at them and I can see little differences, but when I look at the numbers don't lie. So you can put that tape measure around your waist and tight as hard, squeeze it as hard as you possibly can. But those numbers are changing. They've reduced. And I think that's probably a huge confidence boost in the sense that I know where I've lapsed. I know where I've totally indulged. There's been days where I've eaten a meal on the family celebration. I've not been able to take pictures of it because the amount of food that's there, and it would make the app crash. I can't possibly record this. There's just too much going on. I'll just say, but the numbers speak for themselves. And despite having those indulgences, the numbers are still improving. So you know what, I can step this up. If you really want to step it up, you can.
Yes. Do you know what them numbers are?
I think certainly on the waistline, this was going towards the high 90s. It would come down to about the low 80s.
You lost 18 centimeters.
On the waist?
Yeah.
Wow, gosh.
18 centimeters off the waist. So tell me, what has been your biggest win? And last question, what advice would you give to others?
I think the biggest win is that having stuck to a program, just being able to change my mindset and stick to a program that actually works in conjunction with my lifestyle, my belief system, my goals and my aspirations in a sustainable manner that's very easy to understand and, more importantly, very easy to implement, where I'm solely responsible and I can't blame any other factors other than me. But it's it's easy to stick to and allows a lot of flexibility. And I think that's been just wonderful because I know this is lifelong. It's not a program that lasts 6 weeks or 12 weeks. I've learned something that I can apply lifelong that my family and friends can benefit from as well. And the icing on the cake is the reduction in the numbers and the appearance.
Yeah.
And inshallah, I hope that as time goes on, it will just keep improving. But I know even just from wearing certain particular clothes, for me, the belt buckle thing, it sounds silly, but when a belt buckle looks straight, that looks really smart to me. And with overweight people, it overhangs and points down. You probably wouldn't know that concept, but it's a big thing for me. And to wear a suit and feel a little bit recovered from that, that's very, very powerful. And anyone entering the program, I would urge you, read your story, read what you went through, and mentally what you have to go through to achieve what you've done. That should be a huge inspiration for you. And to be the dad who you are, and mashallah, your kids must be incredibly proud of what you've achieved. But if you look incredible, and to be a product of your own program that's sustainable and your outreach to everyone else who's been in a similar situation, I think all I can say that's probably the most powerful thing that you can go on. You're proof of the pudding which you can enjoy.
Advice for others. What advice?
Yes. So now this program isn't for everyone. You can't be your average Joe doing this program. It's a two-way process, and you have to have certain elements within you to be able to achieve this. If you tell everyone that there's Ben Nevis, we're going to climb to the top of it, and everyone's going to have a fantastic time. Well, no, you need to understand what are your motivations to climb that thing in the first place. So in order to do the program, you have to, number one, at least resonate internally that you have issues, whether they've come to the surface or not. You have to admit that you feel insecure, you've got certain issues, you're not happy with yourself, whatever's led to it. Number one, accept that fact and be open to self-critique. Once you've resonated with that, you have to have enough motivation to unlearn, relearn, and stick to the program. It's not demanding, but most of us, particularly the most professionals, you've done your education, you've got university degrees, you work in professions, CPD, and all of this stuff is all second nature to you. You should understand better than anyone else about logging, tracking, critical review, and being part of a greater network, of a professional network. So all of this should be intuitive to you, that should be simple. So if you just stick to what you've been asked to do, they're not arduous tasks. The videos that you do are so short and simple to follow. Just follow the process and trust in the process. And that's all you need to do. So have some motivation, have some self-belief, stick with the process, and make an investment, because it is an investment. And again, let's not shirk around the bush here. A lot of us have paid for professional courses, and we will do. This course is very different to any other course that you're going to do, because this genuinely is about self-development and improvement of yourself, your physical and spiritual character, and how that permeates throughout the people closest to you, your household, your friends, and your community. Just tell me what other courses as a result. And I don't think there's very many. So if you're talking about professional and personal development, this is genuinely exactly what it says on the tin. So I would urge you, if you've got any of those elements and you have some motivation and you're ready to do those things, just go for it.
I think that's what you were saying earlier as well, that the thing that you liked about it is that you found something that aligned with your busy lifestyle, and you could fit it into your lifestyle as well as your culture, your faith, and everything else. And that was one of the biggest things that you found beneficial, is that it aligns so well. Whereas other things are like, go do this crazy. It means a massive disruption to your lifestyle, which this didn't require. It fits in perfectly. Again, even with your your thinking processes, your culture, your faith, and all of that stuff. Atif, it's been a fantastic interview. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. I'm looking for much more success. I'm looking forward to much more success.
Inshallah.
So